Back at it, trying to edit this video with the Altson adapter, the EF2Z adapter for a YouTube video, and then I'll clip it up and make smaller versions and everything else. But I use a hat when I do stuff with the headphones, just keep them cleaner. If you haven't seen anything up to this point, in this case, this project has definitely taken a while. I have a bunch of footage from the Osmo Action and the GoPro. GoPro was usually like up here. Osmo Action was either on the camera or, like just holding it selfie mode. And then I also had a lapel microphone with a recorder that I have right here. This is a Olympus LSP4. Works pretty well. So at this point, I synced all of the audio together. I started clipping it, pulling in photos. So actually, let me do one thing right here real quick. Pull this over. I usually like taking, there's a thing called Affinity that I tend to mention in these, where you take one of the cores away from a program so it doesn't like pull all the resources. So in this case, I'm going to do that for my video editor so it doesn't lag the stream too much. There's a little box here so I can take one of the CPU cores away. That should be good. Anyways, at this point, like I said, I synced all audio. I started clipping it, and I've started pulling in photos, which the weird thing about Magix Vegas Pro is that you can see how slow it's loading those thumbnails. These thumbnails are full-sized, so I don't know, 24 megapixels for the Z5, which I understand it's a PNG and it's slow, but they keep this program keeps regenerating the thumbnails. It doesn't make sense to me, but that's what it does. It slows down some of the editing and such. Kind of irritating. Anyways, at this point, I'm just pulling in photos that I took. I mentioned in the previous stream, it's difficult to like place the photos because I don't have a good process to deal with that. Although my recent recording that I won't get to probably for quite a while is that after every photo I took, I stopped. I read off the actual number of the photos, so like DSC 0451. Hopefully that will help, but I just need to consistently do that in these future videos just to try to make it a little easier to edit, whatever else. I have a new little view here too. That's the Z5 over there. And that's the M50 right here. So you can get an idea of all the good stuff. I'm doing if I can talk, I'm doing a concurrent stream with Twitch and YouTube again. Seems to work. Only thing I've mentioned before as well is background music, but in this case I'm doing a video edit, so it really doesn't make sense to put music in there. Single point AF. Just make sure that's working. Seems to be. I was going to say something, but now I don't remember what it was. Very true. Little things here. Well, here's a photo. Last one was this, so it's probably that. What I try to do with these photos, even if actually that's not one that I want to use, what I did, I mentioned this in the last stream, but basically, any of the photos that I push the EXIF information into, okay, YouTube is saying that current bitrate is too low. Whatever, YouTube, you just have to live with it. Point AF. Anyways, what I do here, or at least I attempted, is all the photos that I actually want to put in the video, it filled the file names with EXIF information, so shutter speed, aperture, ISO. In that case, all the other ones that I didn't, I still want to include so I can get a reference for where they were in the video. But I don't plan on using them because they're probably blurry. I noticed with this combination of the Altson adapter and using aperture priority, it was not good. I'm pretty sure I have future videos with that adapter that worked out better, but for whatever reason, this first attempt didn't work out so well. Let me see if I can get a clip of it. So that right now you can see the adapter on the screen with the 50 EF, Canon EF 50mm f1.8 STM. So at this point you can see my hands doing stuff too with the keyboard, which is helpful.
Say something, but
so I'll push the space bar.
Now I don't.
To start and stop the recording, you can press L.
I don't remember what it was.
To speed up the recording.
If you do want to
pick up this cheap adapter, probably go for those STM lenses. I don't know how many Canon has.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd seen a photo, that one, but I don't want that one, so we're gonna keep going. In this case, I'm gonna split with S on the keyboard. Get rid of all of this stuff. Now I do have auto ripple on. You can see Control L to auto ripple. In that case, it moves the footage. Well, in your case, it would go that direction. And I hit delete on the keyboard. It goes away. My wrist is kind of weird placement here.
Single point.
Don't want that.
If you do want to
pick up this cheap adapter, probably go for those STM lenses. I don't know how many.
I don't know how many.
So in this case, I messed up. I won't necessarily use this, but I might as well keep it for the moment.
I don't know how many Canon has
for these lenses, but I'm guessing that they're going to be the most consistent. All of the adapters have a big list of lenses that they support or have been tested. And if you care about full functionality, definitely go with that list. I'm not planning on buying any expensive EF lenses.
As you can see in this case, I'm holding the Osmo Action selfie mode. And I have the other one on the backpack with a tripod. So most likely I would do this, or I would just use this audio in the future to fill empty, like taking photos, walking, whatever.
Need it good enough to get
aperture control, and for me, the autofocus is a bonus.
So we're going to look for more photos being taken. Here's one. It's probably this one. And it's not like one that I want to use, so I'm going to keep going.
I was struggling a little bit.
Yeah, that was probably that one.
Exposure.
Because most likely that's blurry. But I'd have to pull up my other program to tell. Which I guess I can do. Here is ACDC Photo Studio Ultimate 2022. They did send me a code for this, so I didn't buy it this time. And we go into the directory. Let me see if I do have another Altson video. I don't see one. So all these are projects that I need to work on at some point. Well, some of them are done. Some of them are probably not going to be videos, but yeah. So here are the edited photos. Looks like it's going to take a second. I need to do the Affinity thing for this program for sure because it slows the computer down. Whoops, that is not what I wanted. There we go. So in this case, I'm going to take 2 cores away from it. Probably not something you need to care about if you have a fast current computer, but I have a i7 6700. I'm also doing today the same green tea decaffeinated with the carbon dioxide method. Salada, I believe it's the company. Really nice. What was I doing? Yeah. In this case, let me see what photo it was. I think it was this one. So we look at it in full view. It's definitely blurry. Shutter speed, you can't see about 1/25th of a second because my face is blocking the little thing. f2.8, ISO 180. So the camera definitely could have done a better job of settings on that aperture priority mode. If we go back here, you can look at some of the EXIF on there. It is funny that the lens model is labeled as the 24-70 f4S. Anyways, I'll leave that up in case we want to look at it again. Let's see. Come on, computer. There we go.
I was struggling a little bit with exposure. What was I gonna say?
I don't know.
One thing to take note of is this adapter does not have any type of tripod mount. Of course, one thing.
So you can see you mess up, say it over type of thing. We don't need any of that.
One thing to take
note of is the Altson does not have any type of tripod mount on it. Probably, considering the price that I paid, I'm not surprised. It's just bare minimum to get aperture control for me.
Yeah, usually adapters like this have some type of mount on it so that the weight is displaced between the lens and that adapter rather than the lens and the camera mount. But this one doesn't have it, which is not great. Because usually if you want some type of failure to happen, you want it to happen between the lens and the adapter and not the camera, because otherwise you're screwed big time. So look for more photos.
One thing to take note of is that this the Altson does not have any
More garbage. Save it. In this program, save all the time, so I do Control S a lot.
The Altson does not have any type of tripod mount, tripod connector on there. Not surprised, considering what.
So actually, this is all garbage too, because I'm redoing it, I guess.
The Altson does not have any type of
tripod mount, tripod connector on there. Not surprised, considering what I paid at least. I don't know if it was ever more expensive than this, but not having that is fine in my case. Definitely don't want to put some big lenses on there. Won't be nice. So, and you shouldn't be mounting stuff on the camera.
So.
Don't need that. It'll look weird, but
And you should.
could potentially fix that or put B-roll over it or something.
Nice. And you shouldn't be mounting stuff on the camera without that for large, big lenses.
Yep.
Could damage your mount, potentially.
Camera mount.
Damage your mount, potentially. There's wind.
Here's another photo. In this case, I actually wanted to use this one, so what I need to do here is turn off the auto ripple, which I just did Control L. Otherwise, when I drop, I mentioned this in another stream, but I mean, each stream feels pretty like unique in itself, so if I have it on, let's see what happens. Okay, so we look way back here. Now there's a empty gap. It pushed everything back, so we don't want to do that. We do undo, undo. Oh, it's lagging. When I do undo, this program regenerates all of those flipping thumbnails. It gets irritating. If you're curious about this microphone, it's the Shure MV7, but I have the windscreen thing. Well, it's not wind, but the plosive screen thing from the more expensive, what's it, XLR only microphone. I don't remember the name of it, but this one came out after. I'm actually using USB, even though my audio interface, which you can probably see a little bit, has XLR in it. I like the USB in this case. It works pretty well on this thing.
What I was gonna say.
If you're curious, the Z5 over there is using USB-C. My computer has one USB-C port and it pushes power, which is nice. And I have a cable that I bought somewhat recently that can do the data and the power, so it's keeping that charged. I'm not totally sure if it uses any of the battery, but I've used it for 1-2 hours at a time, and it continues to work, which is good. You can see my hands. I mean, my consideration there is that with the Z5, it's a mirrorless camera. It's meant to have the viewfinder continuously run within reason, so I'm not too concerned about stressing the camera. If they break, I mean, it'll be a big hit, but might as well use them.
Not too bad.
So I'm going to go back here, turn off the auto ripple this time, put it in. In this case, I'm going to split that.
Not too bad. I'm trying to think what I was gonna say. What was I going to say?
I don't know, man. I recorded this back, I think in late May. Let me see if I can figure that out. Actually, if I look at the EXIF for one of the photos, there should be a date on it somewhere. 5/28. So 4 April, May, yeah. I know my months.
Looking at the larger flange distance, looking at nice right through the lead.
I gave up on that for whatever reason. My goal here with these is I try to come up with stuff to say as I'm out there doing it. It's so much easier to say it out there. I think it flows better in general if you're doing it out there instead of doing I mean, voiceovers are good and they have their place, but they take a lot of effort in addition to this. So if I can say it there, it's generally better. Oh, let's see what we got here. That's probably all 4 of these. Let me turn off the auto ripple. So I'm just gonna do that.
Try this over here. I think I want to walk over there.
I'm not sure. Nice having 2 views. Very nice. So it's clearly this photo. Oh, come on, computer. as I mentioned in the last video, the current state of the computer component industry is not great. I would like to do an update, but
I don't think I want to walk over there.
I'd like to wait until DDR5 is a thing.
So far I'm enjoying this. No expectations really, but it's working.
So obviously the nice thing about having a lapel microphone in this situation, the audio from the, I can actually show you what it sounds like. So if we mute the lapel microphone, we unmute the GoPro. So far I'm enjoying this. No expectations really, but it's working. Clearly, the GoPro audio is not usable in that case. And you just get an idea of...
I'm enjoying this. No expectations really.
Yeah, big difference. Actually, we can even see what the Osmo Action sounds like.
So far I'm enjoying this. No expectations really.
It's actually not bad. Let's see where exactly so I had the Osmo Action down holding it.
But it's working.
That's usable, but still the lapel microphone is the best option there. For the current moment, I keep all of the audio just in case situation. Sometimes the lapel can like rustle on a shirt or something, and that just doesn't sound good. And I could potentially use one of the other sources even though they're lower quality. But it doesn't always work.
A little bit of water droplets.
So you notice how I just wiped the lens? In that case, I tend to use filters on my lenses instead of using caps or anything like that. And I can easily wipe a filter and not care about it, you know, getting scratched or whatever. At least compared to a lens.
Shouldn't be a problem.
It was raining a little bit. If we go way back, assuming you haven't seen the other streams, I had the umbrella going for quite a while. Whoops. Yeah. This is a pretty gigantor umbrella. Anyways.
So far I'm enjoying this. Expectations really, but it's working.
It's not super useful. You can skip it. So in this case, I'm just looking for more photos that I took. Well, also I have the add-on grip on there. In this case, I was probably wanting to use that for like B-roll or something, but it doesn't look good. Lots of not very useful footage. Let's delete that. I did not have the auto ripple on, so I can turn it back on, pull this clip over, and we're good. And I talked a lot more than I would probably normally.
Probably said this before, but out of the DSLR Aero lenses,
I do think EF is the best one to go for. It adapts to pretty much anything. There are adapters.
Adapters. And next thing I messed up 1, 2, 3. Just get rid of that. Save it.
probably mentioned this in
Another video before, but I do think EF lenses are the most adaptable, the ones that'll exist the longest in general, because there are so many mounts, new ones, the mirrorless ones, that do adapt these lenses, at least to some degree. E-mount definitely has adapters like this available. You could probably find ones on Micro Four Thirds, I'm sure. And in general, if you get an EF lens, you'll probably be able to use it for a good long time, even more so than the mirrorless ones. I think the negative is that you do need some type of electronic control, which If you care about that, definitely go film era, where aperture rings were more available. But with EF, you do get a good level of control, as long as you get that electronic adapter.
Yeah, so that's a lot of talking. I think this is going to be a very talky video. We'll see. Oh, here's another photo. You can get the other view and see what it looks like. Probably, yeah, it's probably that one. Again, I have to turn off the auto ripple. Just put it in there somewhere.
Pull out the other lens. Try that out. You know what? So far, I haven't looked at the photos, of course, but
And
pull out the other lens.
get rid of that.
I haven't looked
The photos, of course, but so far this combination is okay outdoors. I did notice indoors it was definitely struggling. When you adjust your aperture from f1.8 down to 5.6 or lower, smaller, whichever term you want to use, you're going to struggle with autofocus, especially down there, just based on how this camera works with it. I do think the Z5...
I did mention that in earlier in the video.
Looking at the Altson website, I do think the Z5... Looking at the Altson website, it has
no information about the Z5, so I wasn't even sure if this combination would work at all. But it does work. You get aperture control, at least on all the lenses that I have. And autofocus can work sometimes. Just don't expect it to be good. Anyways, I do think the 50 f1.8 STM works okay outdoors, at least in these conditions so far.
Yeah, looking at the photos, there were a lot of blurry photos, and I'm not totally sure what was the problem.
Anyways, I do think the 50 f1.8, it's okay, especially for what I paid. I'm going to switch the lens out to the...
Which is true. I mentioned this in the previous stream. $60 for the adapter, but I recently looked at the price of it and it jumped to like 200 something, which is very much not worth it.
The longer one that I have, the 100 to 300 millimeter, see how that works.
I put the Osmo Action onto the camera, it looks like. It's no good. So it looks like I was switching lenses. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, switching out lenses.
See what that view looks like.
Okay, switching out
lenses, 100, 300 millimeter. What was the aperture on here? I don't know. There we go. Switching out lenses, 100, 300 millimeter.
Well, that's...
Switching out lenses,
100, 300 millimeter f 4.5 to 5.6 for apprenticeships.
What?
For apprenticeships.
Huh?
For apprenticeships.
Don't know what I said there.
Okay, got the other lens switched out. This is 100 to
300 millimeter at 4.5 to 5.6. So definitely should struggle more with autofocus. We'll find out. I've only done indoor stuff so far, so I'm curious to see how it works.
Get rid of that. Although it's more concise.
Switching out lenses, 100, 300 millimeter at 4.5 to 5.6. Okay, got the other lens switched out. This is 100 to 300 millimeter at 4.5 to 5.6. So
definitely should struggle more with autofocus. We'll find out. I've only done indoor stuff so far, so I'm curious to see how it works.
Actually, this one is a lot more concise. But let's get rid of the big one. It's probably a photo.
there we go. So it spun the autofocus motor a little bit. Let's see. Did get focus. Although.
So this one, oh, I don't even want to use those. Let's see if it's in focus. I think it was, which one was it? 0484. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's very much none. Very blurry. This one is terrible, but also boring.
Oh, not totally sure. Maximum aperture, it might work okay. This one is a little more. Maximum aperture, it might work okay. This one's a little newer than my other two lenses. This is as far as I know.
Come on. Get rid of that.
This is as far as I know. Not too.
Not even sure. I don't see that photo. Huh. Maybe it's this one? Oops. Turn that off.
Not too bad, not too bad.
Oh, I don't even want to use that photo.
Let me see if I can do it so the GoPro can pick it up. There we go. That was quick. That was.
I think this one's blurry. Let's find out. Yeah. Just really bad.
The shutter speed's kind of crazy. 1/25 of a second.
Yeah, I was doing that for the 50 too.
I think that's a little extreme. But it is dark in here. Brighter area, which should help.
There's a sign. These photos are not exciting, but I'll leave it for now.
At the minimum focus distance. I might be at the minimum focus distance.
Sure.
It's really struggling. There we go. Let's go to 300. Yeah, I don't know why the camera's using 1/25 of a second shutter speed. I think I need to change this up. Let's see. 300th, 5.6.
Not very useful views here.
That was a lot quicker, but.
So in this case, technically, these photos were probably taken over here. Not that I really want to use them, but
Bare minimum, it appears to be getting focus. Over there. And auto ISO set.
I'm guessing that's maybe this photo. Whoops.
So I have the camera in auto ISO set to 1/320th of a second. Aperture will just maybe adjust it if we need to. Got this bird here.
Okay. So I do know which one that was. Those are a little blurry.
Continuous focus, if I can figure out how to do that.
Actually, let me just use that one.
Switch to continuous focus, if I can figure out how to do that. Here we go. AFC. And I'm going to also switch it to a larger area. Well, let's try this first. Where's the bird?
The drink like flies back in my face sometimes.
It's coming closer to me.
That bird. I'm trying to keep some of that.
And I'm going to also switch it to a larger area. Well,
Audio is kind of useful, maybe.
I'll switch to.
So I'm going to keep it for now.
Coming closer to me.
Should be good.
It's really struggling. Go into video mode. Definitely struggles more.
Yeah, I somehow lost the video from this stuff. I don't know if it was on the wrong card or something. I'm not sure.
Mode. This lens definitely struggles a lot more with autofocus. It technically works. Technically, so far this
Lens is struggling a lot more with autofocus. It technically works, technically does focus, but not great. At 5.6, not getting a lot of light into the sensor to focus. I mean, I'm sure the Z5 is one of the worst ones of the lineup, but yeah.
All right. What's that one? Thought I turned auto ripple off. Didn't. Oh well.
I did notice when I switched to the larger focus area, was having more trouble than the standard focus area. This is dynamic. So there's single point, dynamic. So at least
A lot of this is like probably not very useful, but I might as well go through it anyways. So I was just trying to get the thing to work. It's definitely not very much artistic focus on these.
There we go. That should be a good test.
Oh, we got some water on the GoPro.
Just put my hand around the adapter.
Keep that for now.
Oh, I can feel the water. Not cool.
Oh, here's something that irritates me. If we zoom in here. Whoops. I don't know why it's not working. I'm zooming into the wrong footage. Anyways, I just see a bottle on the table that should not be there. Another table. Anyways, litter. I don't know what a person would be thinking to leave a bottle on a picnic table. It's like sheer self whatever. Looks like kind of photo here.
What do we got here?
Delete. Pull this in. It's got a bird in there.
Seems to be working bright enough that it might. You know what? I think this dynamic area work. Those birds are fast, but it's struggling. Let me see if I can get a view of that. Those birds are fast, but
We can keep that for now.
seems to. It's bright enough that. See if I can get a view of that. It's kind of working somehow.
So it looks like I was trying to get that in the camera, maybe. Although I didn't quite align it. I'll leave it for now. Or I very much did not get it in there properly. Maybe I was trying to... Nope. Who knows?
I think it might be focusing on the water. The bird just happens to be in there. Dynamic Area AF. Got wide, small, large, and auto.
Get rid of that. Always save it. Here's another photo. Whoops.
Doing micro adjustments.
It's probably that photo, but I don't think that's one I wanted to
I'm
use.
saying low light AF, and it's very much not low light right now.
Yeah, the Z5 loves popping up that low light AF feature. I'll keep that for now.
Oh, it's somehow. Wow, it's somehow picked them up.
And there's a little bird in there. I don't think it was like especially sharp, but could be usable.
Struggling a little bit.
I think in this case of this video, I'm going to not zoom in very often. There, very few of the photos were like sharp, well done.
Struggling a little bit. It's probably thinking, what the hell is this thing looking at me?
Let's try to keep that. So, oh, didn't want that. Turn off auto ripple again. The best feature that's the most irritating feature. It's so good, but it's also so bad.
Go into manual focus. It ran away.
Well, I think this is one of the few photos that turned out pretty decent, which we can confirm. Take a look. Yeah. Whew. ISO 1400. I mean, considering it doesn't look too bad. What was that, f5.6? That was probably the largest aperture. Although it says 44 millimeters. Which doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't think that the camera was reading the focal length properly. Which actually is a problem for shake reduction. Something I need to remember for the future. Yeah, oh no, well, that says 100 millimeters. The thing is, 44 is not in that lens. It's 100 to 300. Doesn't make sense.
You can tell that it's definitely using the battery pretty quick.
Oh, really?
The hell is this thing? Battery pretty quick.
Whoops, I don't know if I wanted to delete that, but there's that.
And it's struggling. Does not like this.
This is actually one of the same group. Oh, it's probably up here.
At 300.
Something like that. So you can see there is a lot of monotony to this editing.
Benefit. Benefit.
Huh? Maybe I should include this. I'm probably my own worst enemy with editing.
Benefit.
Because I tend to be like to the point, to a fault.
Not that bad. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Well, shoot.
Don't know what I was referring to there, but
Can help. This is not direction that is good for creatures.
I think there were some birds flying around that looked interesting, but actually getting decent photos of them was the challenge.
This is not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyways.
Creatures.
All right, this next photo is way... I know where that is. It's not where I'm standing.
Try this bird again. Go back to continue and dynamic area AF.
Maybe delete that. Delete this.
And dynamic area.
You keep that for now. Because I'm not going to be able to find where exactly. I probably took quite a few photos there.
The 100 to 300. So far, this one is also not as bad as I was expecting. Autofocus is a very mixed bag. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm trying a continuous autofocus. It was okay sometimes.
I didn't know what I was saying. And I kind of like thought about it for, what is this, 16 a minute?
The 100 to 300
100 is actually a little bit better than I was expecting as well. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In auto
But then the wind screws it up.
well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm trying to continuous autofocus. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm trying to continuous autofocus.
I could probably use that.
Definitely quirky. It's definitely.
Oh. I think it gave up. There's probably too much wind, and I've kind of figured that out. This one. Well, let me turn off auto ripple. Come on, computer. I really wish the Vegas Pro team would do something about these image thumbnails. See, I moved my mouse over it. It lags, and then it refreshes itself. Does not make sense. The image is fixed. It doesn't change. I don't get it. In no situation will that image ever change. Anyways.
Dynamic area AF.
Let's try to keep that in there too. Next one looks oh man, the GoPro has a bunch of water on it.
Droplets are no cool. Not good. The GoPro is probably covered.
One thing I've done more and more often is that as I film these videos, I talk to myself more. I never used to do that. But as I've been trying to like vocalize things that I'm thinking for the video, I do it more in general. It's kind of weird.
Now that I think about it. Droplets are
So I'm walking around like talking to myself. Which for the moment I'll keep that, but probably not use it in the video.
whatever.
That is this photo. Keep doing that. You need to give this part of the program focus for you to do the keyboard command to turn off auto ripple. And I just keep doing it in the wrong order. Which that photo is not good, but whatever.
No, that works. That works. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.
A lot of wind. Beautiful scenery.
Yeah, it's actually doing a thing.
Maybe I should do the like the other YouTubers that like swoosh it, add a swoosh or something, swoosh, and then all those sound effects. That is some type of wind monitor or something. I think there's a bird down there, which we can find out very quickly. Let's see. Yeah. Now it's blurry is terrible. Terribly blurry, but there's a duck. Man. So 220 at 5.6, 320th of a second. which should have been fine. So I have a suspicion the shake reduction wasn't working properly with the adapter plus that lens, because the focal length says 44 millimeters. Clearly that's not 44 millimeters. The lens is 100 to 300. There are definitely some issues.
Really doing a thing.
So I did record this thing way over here talking about it, but right here clearly there was some type of issue with the combination.
Maybe it was the adapter. Editor Scott here, clearly there was some type of issue with the adapter.
Editor
Scott here, clearly there was some type of issue with the adapter working with the camera and aperture priority. Could have been the shake reduction system. I might have had it set to sport instead of the regular. Who knows, but the photos aren't great. There's definitely some blur in quite a few of them. But yeah, I have used this a little bit more and it seems okay. I don't know what to say about it, but we're still going to go through the video and I'm still going through the video.
I didn't, when I recorded this, I did not notice the aperture, the focal length dip, the focal length thing. My current thoughts on these
adapter is probably not worth it, especially at the full retail price. $60, you at least
get. We'll see. Might have to re-record the edit thing. Editor's note.
It's not working well. Trying to get that little bird on the street.
Delete.
Little bird on the street. Road.
Okay. Yeah, so I didn't give this one EXIF. It's probably blurry. We can check. Yeah. There's no reason that should have been blurry. 1/320th of a second. Again, 44 millimeters, which is wrong. ISO 360. Definitely has some issues. Which actually I might include it for that reason. And I could potentially use it in the editor's note. So part of the reason I make these type of videos with the gear focus is that I can try things out and then I find all these issues with it.
Go.
So if someone sees it and like, oh, that looks interesting, they can watch my video and see, okay, he had issues with sharp photos, potentially the whatever is not working, such and such, yeah. So I'm probably going to redo this whole editor note thing now that I've looked through most of the footage photos.
It's a no-go.
Okay, here's that photo. Somewhere around there. Get rid of that. Put this in here. Save it.
The wind.
What?
The wind.
I think I said the wind.
Winds.
I'll try to include those this time. Like as happening in the background when the photo is being shown. Man, this flag was in bad condition. I'm sure they've since changed it, but yeah. America. Oh, yeah, you gotta say it. I'm from the north, so we shouldn't have much of the twang, but When you say America, you got to do the America sometimes.
America.
Yeah, like that one. Let me turn auto ripple off. Like,
America.
well, I was doing multiple versions of it. I'll keep them for the moment. So at those points, I kind of get bored, or like mentally bored, and I'm just speaking random things.
Pro. These birds are always out here doing their thing.
I'm not sure. Turn that off. Man, I can feel a lag. I'm editing 4K action camera footage. Or actually, no, this is 2.7K. Now that I think about it. Yeah, 2.7K for both. With the GoPro, I'm pretty sure I had the max lens mod, but not 100%. No, that's not wide enough. Maybe, I don't know, but
These birds are always out here doing their thing.
anyways, it feels a little slow on the computer. It could be the whole streaming thing.
Very consistently. That's weird.
I was kind of contemplating buying like all refurbished components and then making a video about it just to see if it works. But in the past, at times I bought like refurbished motherboards, and they're just a little weird. They're not super consistent, so I'm a little reluctant to get some things refurbished with computer gear. I mean, I've been building computers for since the probably late 90s.
Very consistently.
So, I mean, you always run into something eventually that doesn't work right.
Whoa!
The wind is really strong right here. But
Very cool. Let's go into video mode.
oh, don't have the video. Yeah, I don't know which. I think I got like it looks like I got one photo out of the whole thing. That might be decent. Come on. Let's take a look. This one. It looks usable right there at least. But when you get closer, not so much. That again was 1/320 of a second. ISO 250 at 5.6. Clearly the focal length is wrong. It says 44 again.
Let's go into video mode
Let's not.
and change the... Oh, I can't do the cooler focus. Well, that's disappointing.
I guess in video mode you can't do a specific type of focusing. I'm not sure.
See if we can get anything here. Area. Single point. Yeah, that's a no-go. It's frigging wind. It's way over there.
Let's delete that. I'm gonna take a guess. No, it's not even facing it. Not sure.
Come on, focus. What I could do here is when they fly into the wind, they're going a lot slower.
So I guess I was sitting there trying to take photos of those birds, which I don't think these other ones are from that. I think they got that one single photo out of it, which isn't that great.
What I could do here is when they fly, they're going a lot slower.
Maybe I can just, whoops. Cooperate, please. Thank you. What is this?
Way over there.
Let's just use that in case.
I could actually. Alright, this lens, autofocus is worse, but it does work
Technically.
Alright.
This lens, autofocus is worse, but it does work technically. A lot of quirks to it, but it does work.
That's all I gotta say.
Sure, I'll keep it for now. Oh yeah, if you've seen TikTok lately, they've got one of the meme type of videos they do is the head, like someone laying on your lap. It's basically the same view. Maybe I should use that. Although I would have to vertical crop it. I'll save it. Let's see what the other.
Another.
Although usually in those TikToks they like spit on something because they're trying to make it funny, but then every single person does the same exact thing.
Test, test, test. Test 1, 2, 3.
That's the little.
Test, test, test 1, 2, 3.
See, I was going crazy at that point.
It would help if I turn the camera on.
It's a lot of wind. And it resulted in this terrible photo here. Nice. Actually, maybe. No. Yeah. Whatever. I'll just not use that. Whoops. Did not want that. Ah. I keep clicking wrong stuff. Okay. If you're curious about this keyboard and mouse, I try to make them as quiet as possible. And this is built from parts. This is not. It's a Amazon special that had like quiet keys on it, or buttons, I should say.
Verbs.
I can't remember what stuff I have inside the switches, but they're linear, and they have like rubber inside that helps cushion when you press it, like hidden the bottom.
They're fighting. Some verbs. They're fighting.
Not sure, but I'll keep that for now.
Turn the camera on. They are doing things. This wind is a trip. Maybe somewhere that's not as.
get rid of that.
Flipping nuts, so.
Yeah. All right, so probably all of these photos were from that, which I can pull in here for the moment. There's a duck and a hawk or something. Which actually, some of these might just be decentish. I mean, relatively speaking. Oh, terrible. Come on. It's like no definition to the. Huh. Yeah. I definitely had a problem with that combination.
This. Turn on, please. Am I in continuous? Yeah. Pretty sure. It's a big chunk.
Okay. We're getting close.
Burning through my battery for the sake of P-Mango.
What?
Burning through for the sake of P-Mango. A great idea.
Oh, I was doing Pokemon Go. Okay.
It is working. Wow. 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 Wow, wow, wow.
There must be birds or something, which is probably some of these photos.
So, where is it? It functions.
Not actually.
Is life. Come over here. Wow. What type of bird is that? Let me adjust my focus area.
We can keep this for now. I'll try to clip it together and then like have it happen in the background with these terrible photos. Just like drag them in there. Okay. We gotta be almost done here.
So cool. Oh, I should have been using sports shake. Sport mode. Duh.
I don't think it helped. I probably should have completely turned off the shake reduction.
The sport shake seems to make things worse. Is that a duck?
Oh, wow. The duck was way back there. Whatever. I can fake it. It would be so hard to place those photos, like exactly where I was taking them.
Where are they going? Somehow works. Go down. What? Back here, dude. Seems that once I turned on sport shake reduction, the autofocus is worse. Doesn't make a ton. It could be, who knows why, but.
The reality is that shake reduction had some type of issue, I can tell here, throughout. It wasn't specifically sport or normal or whatever. It was, I just don't think it works with that adapter
Now the birds
properly,
are running from me.
which is actually kind of bad because that would make it more usable.
It works.
Just gonna delete that.
It's really struggling for that sports shake reduction. It really tries. There's a faster shutter speed. Relatively easy scene, it should be able to tell, but yeah.
Not sure what the deal with that is. Let's turn regular back on. Oh wow, that's so much better. What the heck?
Regular shake reduction seems to work better with this. This is kind of neat.
Just gonna get rid of that. Oops, I don't want to delete all of it. Well, actually, it looks like I didn't even do a
Regular shake reduction.
ending sequence, which usually I'd say something at the end, but not this time. Well then. Oh, okay. I was only using one camera, clearly. Yeah. Anyways, we've reached the end of the first pass, which I'm gonna stop this in a little bit, but basically what I do next is I'll try to make it into a video at this point. So got the photos placed, and then I look for interesting stuff. I look for any inconsistencies or any times where I try to say things 2 times. But yeah. Anyways, I'm not done. Not clearly not done. That's like 20 minutes of random everything. Trying to make it flow, and then eventually I add some music to it or something and call it a day, but will definitely take more time. So I hope you found this interesting. If you stopped by for a little bit, appreciate it. Yeah. Scott for